What's going on, everybody? TwoToneSports. We're going to hit you with an NFL mock draft review. We're going to mock the mock here. Kyle Stackhouse. We have reviewed him in the past. Eagles replace Miles Sanders. Steelers get Kenny Pickett, more protection. The Cowboys add receiver. I'm doing this. He posted this yesterday. So the Cowboys actually added Brandon Cooks today in a trade. I want to say it was for a 5th and a 6th round draft pick from the Texans. So that being said, let's jump into this one. I don't want to read this because it gives away too much sometimes. So pick number 1, Bryce Young. Pick number 2 is going to be Stroud. It should be this way and across every mock draft pretty much. I'm expecting Stroud, Young, Stroud. This is pretty much locked in. Who knows? You may see Anthony Richardson on some of them, but this is how it's going to go. Young is going to go to the Panthers for number 1. The Bears traded out of it. Once again, questions on his size. This is really it. Some news about the Panthers. They're bringing in DJ Shark and Adam Thielen in for workouts. They apparently are interested in both. Now, what comes from that, I don't know. Maybe they'll get one. I kind of thought Adam Thielen would have been going to the Bills to pair up with Stephon Diggs, but you never know. You never know. He could be looking for money at this point. It's warm. He's used to Minnesota, and he's going to go to Carolina. It'll be a total culture shock for him. Maybe that's what he wants. I don't know. I do think it's a good fit for DJ Shark, though. CJ Stroud is going to go to the Texans here. They just inked a massive deal with Laramie Tunsil. It's something they have to do. You got to keep whoever you draft safe. So even if the Texans want Young, Stroud would be more than fine. This is what I'm saying. They're okay with Young or Stroud at this point. I personally like Stroud as the better QB because of size and whatever. When you're looking at QB technicals, Bryce Young is technically better. But I think there's more upside probably with Stroud. Moving to 3, I'd be shocked if this is not Will Anderson. I say that because they stayed. They need a J.J. Watt replacement. Will Anderson, 6'4", 243. He's clearly the best defensive player in this draft at this point. They also talked about trading out, but that may have become more difficult with the biggest QB-needy teams behind them, the Panthers, already moving up. For the time being, Arizona makes Will Anderson the first defensive prospect off the board, filling a huge need for the new head coach, Jonathan Gannon, with J.J. Watt retired and Zach Allen signing with the Broncos. Forgot about Zach Allen, to be honest. This is a massive hole for them. There you go. That's better. Sorry about the glare. This is a massive hole for them that's filled. Will Anderson is the best defensive player in the draft. It's clear-cut 1. Jalen Carter's sliding down, even my mock draft. A lot of concerns with him. Did not look good at his pro day. We got the Colts up here. I'll be shocked if they don't go QB. Yeah, Will Levis. This is kind of the consensus pick as well. I think everybody kind of sees the top 4 going like this, unless the Cardinals trade out of 3. So, Will Levis, 6'3", 232. The only downside with him is his decision-making. He's got a hell of an arm. Bad news for Colts is they're no longer getting their first or second choice among top QBs. The thin silver lining, though, is that they most likely won't have to trade up if they want one of the remaining signal callers. That's the case here as Indianapolis lands Will Levis without having to give up any assets. That's a big thing. It's a big thing. Now, really what interests me here is where does Anthony Richardson go? How far down does he go? And where does Jalen Carter go? Does he fall out of the top 5? I'm sorry. Does he fall out of the top 10? In my eye, he's definitely fallen out of the top 5. I don't see Richardson. I don't see Richardson really or Carter in the top 5 anymore. So, Will Levis, this is a great pick for them. Good offense. You still got Taylor. You still got Pittman. You got Pierce. You got a decent offensive lineman. I mean, you have some holes to fill on defense, especially Gilmore's God. The middle linebacker's God. This is the move, though. This is the pick at 4, for sure. And this is definitely the pick at 5. I love Tyree Wilson. I sit here and argue that Tyree Wilson may be the best defensive lineman in this draft. Or edge in this draft. I think he has a higher upside than Will Anderson. 6'6", 275. He's just got that frame. Seahawks bypass QB to continue. There's no need for them to take QB. All right. You re-signed Geno Smith to a 3-year deal. Ride it. Ride it for another year. There's no need to take a QB at this point. No need. All right. Texas Tech standout did not participate at the combine as he continues to recover from a fractured foot. But he plans to do drills and testing at the school's pro day on March 29th. He'll showcase a skill set that will validate his top 10 standing. Seattle needs this. They have Uchenna Nwosu, I believe, on another 1-year deal. I think he's only there for 1 more year. Tyree Wilson is it, man. Tyree Wilson is it, and he's going to be an X factor on that offensive line. I'm telling you now, he's going to be an X factor. Wow. This was shocking a little bit to me. I get it. I like it. Lions have expressed the utmost confidence in Jared Goff as their starting QB, but in this scenario, Anthony Richardson being available is too good to pass up. Making this decision easier is the fact that Detroit has already addressed one of its biggest needs, cornerback in free agency. They did. Cam Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley, all of a sudden the franchise is in the position to win now while grooming Richardson, who has the most potential of any QB in this draft. 1,000% agree to that. Not a bad move, actually. Really not a bad move. There's definitely value here. Thinking about the future of this team, you guys were on the brinks of the playoffs. Rodgers is going to be out. Bears, all them. I mean, this is kind of a smart pick. You know he's going to have to... Anthony Richardson is not ready. He definitely is the highest ceiling out of any QB. Honestly, kind of in a while. Goff is kind of... I would think Goff would be a pretty good teacher to Anthony Richardson. I like this pick as a very big development pick. I like it. I know a 6th pick is kind of crazy to use on that, but dude, this kid's got the athletic ability. I really, really like this pick, actually. It's growing on me. Is Carter going to go at 7? Wow, okay. I mean, guys, I hate to say this, but he fits on the Raiders, doesn't he? He really fits on the Raiders. Damn. Okay. Jalen Carter. So unfortunate news coming out about him. He's got community service hours for that street racing incident. Really came in and looked like shit on his pro day. There's no other way to put it. He looked terrible. Jalen Carter's situation has been resolved from a legal standpoint, with Carter getting 12 months of probation and a $1,000 fine, but avoiding jail time. Still, it's unclear what the teams think of him after his legal trouble and a disappointing pro day. That's putting it nice. It was terrible. In this mock, Carter is passed over as the first defensive prospect taken, but still lands in the top 10. Honestly, my view of Carter now is either boom or bust. He's going to be everything you thought he was, or he's going to be terrible. And that's the way I'm looking at it. I get the pick at 7 because of value, but come on. I'm not that high on Carter anymore. I'm really not. Yeah, this is a phenomenal pick. Christian Gonzalez, 6'2", 201. My clear CB1. Christian Gonzalez seems to have cemented himself as the best corner in the draft. Tested very well. Smooth athleticism during the field drills. And in addition, displaying ball hawking skills this past season. Falcons need more defensive playmakers. Listen, if Tyree Wilson is here, they take Tyree Wilson. They definitely need corner help. And Christian Gonzalez is it, man. He's a lockdown, and he is going to be awesome for them. Awesome. I'm not jinxing the Falcons. But I really don't think the Falcons can mess this pick up. You either go edge, you either go corner. They kind of can go best player available. They really can. Very good pick for the Falcons. I'm going to say that. Hey-o, this is cool. Jackson Smith-Njigba. I like this. The Bears are making moves. First, they trade the number 1 overall pick to the Panthers for 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a proven wide receiver, DJ Moore. Then they go out on day 1 of free agency, lock down the 2 best available linebackers, TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, in addition to a solid guard, Nate Davis. They've already filled some holes, but there's more work to be done with their newly acquired 9 selection. The Bears give Justin Fields, his old college teammate. I love this. A route running savant with elite agility skills. I like this. Give Justin Fields, we see what happens when you pair some kids up with their old college teammates, hence Chase and Burrow. Don't know if it would exactly be that. High hopes would be awesome for it, but I don't see that. This is a good move. And to be honest, they've killed it in free agency so far, and this would be a hell of a pick. Yeah, he's got his injury concerns, but this is a good pick. I also like this one, Myles Murphy. It appeared the Eagles would need a new starting cornerback after reports they were releasing Slay. Now he's trending toward returning, meaning the star-studded duo, he and James Bradbury, will go back in the fold. With that position taken care of, GM Howie Roseman fortifies his defensive line with the athletic and versatile Myles Murphy. I really, really like this. Big loss for the Eagles was Javon Hargrave. CJ Gardner-Johnson is still out there. They don't have Miles Sanders anymore, but being straight up, you do not use the 10th overall pick to replace Miles Sanders. You are out of your mind if you do. You grab a different Miles in Myles Murphy, keep that rotational defensive line going. This is a really, really cool, and it's honestly such an Eagles pick. It's hard to give freaking Titans anything but a tackle. Like, any of you Titans fans that watch, I'm sorry. Like, you guys lost Taylor Lewan. You guys, I think Kevin Byard, you're in a sticky situation with him now because you wanted him to take a pay cut. I don't know what the hell your franchise is doing, I got to be honest, and I mean that in the nicest way. But you guys got to go offensive tackle. It's necessary. Paris Johnson Jr. is a dog, 6'6", 310. Come on. Ready? Titans enter free agency needing major offensive line help, and while they secured former Eagles first-round tackle Andre Dillard, they released center Ben Jones and left guard Nate Davis. And Taylor Lewan. That means finding quarterback protection should be still a priority in the draft. They do so by They do so by selecting Paris Johnson Jr., who handled the best Big Ten pass rushers as both guard and tackle during his Ohio State career. I can't make a mock draft without doing this. It's either Johnson, Skoronski, or Broderick Jones. To me, it's really Johnson and Skoronski because you're going offensive line. There's no other way to put it. And don't be upset, Titans fans. It's a good pick. Ooh, I kind of like this. 6'1", 180, Devon Witherspoon. Texans bolstered their wide receiver core by signing Robert Woods and Noah Brown. Now, Houston looks to strengthen its secondary. Devon Witherspoon, coming from one of the best defenses in all of college football, has the fundamentals, physicality, and instincts to thrive opposite of Derek Stingley. This immediately puts your cornerback room at the top of the charts and young, and they got to give Jalen Petrie some love. That dude is a ball hawk as well back there. Really would like the Texans secondary if they do this. Really would like this. I really like this pick for you guys. Like a lot. I know I've seen some mock drafts of you guys going to get Stroud some wide receiver help. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary at this point. I love this. Thank you. On Wednesday, Rodgers announced his intentions to play for the Jets. While there's no trade in place yet, we're going to assume this involves a Jets first-round pick. I did the same thing. Okay, with Green Bay now on the clock, it knows the Patriots are looking for an offensive line help and therefore goes with the technically excellent Peter Skoronski, who will help out the unit wherever in need. He's so versatile. He'll be all over that offensive line. And to be honest, you're getting ready to QB. If you want Julian Love to come in and have a chance, this is the pick you do. Okay? This is the pick you do. I think the Packers are getting a little, probably a little out of hand at this point on what they want for Rodgers. If you want to hear about what I think about the compensation of Rodgers, go back to my previous mock draft video where I draft. It has DeAndre Hopkins, Eckler, and Rodgers in the thumbnail. Go watch that and fast forward to the 13th pick. I also do this trade, so I talk about the compensation there, but I'm not going to get deep into this one. This is a good pick for the Packers. This is a good pick for the Patriots as well. Shortly after reports surfaced that the Patriots were making trade calls about Hopkins and Judy, they landed Juju Smith-Schuster. On a reported 3-year, $33 million deal, New England could still go pass catcher here, but instead opts for more protection for Mac Jones. After they got Juju, this is absolutely the move they need to do. This is absolutely the move they need to do. Broderick Jones is a boss. 6'4", 310 pounds. He's good. Broderick Jones in contention to be the first offensive lineman taken. Has everything you want in an NFL tackle. I don't agree with that. I think you're definitely going to see Paris Johnson Jr. before him. You may not see Skoronski before Broderick Jones. It may be because some team wants a legit offensive tackle and doesn't want to take like the possibility of Peter Skoronski not working on a tackle and having to go to guard. So this is why that he would go first, but Paris Johnson Jr. should go before Broderick Jones. Now we're going to swoop back here to the Packers. Brian Branch. This is a hell of a fit for them too. Brian Branch didn't have a great NFL combine, but he was always going to be a trust the tape prospect anyway. The Alabama standout can basically play anywhere. Has high football IQ and excels as a run defender. He doesn't miss tackles. Okay. With the Packers set to lose one or both of Adrian Amos and Rudy Ford, and with this not being a strong safety draft class, they choose the production over measurables in making Branch a first-round pick. If you go based off measurables, Brian Branch would not be a first-round pick. If you go off play tape, this is exactly where he belongs. He plays faster than his 40 in the combine. He plays tougher than 193. And he tackles a lot better than 193. He could play in the slot, outside, over top, in the box, wherever you want. You can get creative with Brian Branch. This is a very good pick. This is another good pick. Washington, Joey Porter Jr., 6'2", 194. Kid runs like a deer. He's physical. Having signed 2 offensive linemen at the onset of free agency, the Commanders turned their attention to defensive side of the ball. Joey Porter Jr.'s testing numbers weren't great, but he's still very long physical quarterback who won't shy away from covering the other's best receivers in the division. He's going to be a lockdown corner. He just has to get a little bit better with penalties, but he's physical just like his father. He really is. Physical just like his father. I like this pick too. I like Darnell Wright. Some people don't have him going until the second round. That's BS. 6'6", 335. Really didn't let up many sacks in his college career. Steelers are in a similar position to the Commanders in that the offensive line and cornerback are two of their bigger needs. Unlike Washington, Pittsburgh goes with the offensive lineman. Darnell Wright is coming off a great season for Tennessee, stood out during the Senior Bowl, turned in a combine performance that got the attention of Joe Thomas, Pro Bowl and Hall of Famer. I don't know why I said Pro Bowl, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Darnell Wright's going to be very good, and he should not go in the second round. Realistically, this is where he should go. Mid-first round. Think Brian Branch and Paris Johnson Jr. are over him? If you're viewing Skoronski as a guard, he's the third. He's the third off the board. Dalton Kincaid. Kid is a hell of a receiving tight end. All right, he's going to come in replacing T.J. Hawkinson. This is nice. This is real nice. Lions have done a good job addressing defensive needs in free agency, so they continue adding to their offense in the first round. Kincaid is one of the best pass catchers in this class, regardless of position, and Anthony Richardson will love throwing to him for years to come. That's a great pairing. That's a really cool and good pairing. Kincaid and Richardson. You develop Richardson. They lost Jamal Williams. A big locker room guy, but when it... this is a nice pick. Honestly, this is a nice pick. And I still like that Anthony Richardson pick in the beginning. What are we doing here at 19? We can either... Oh, I like that. Brian Brees, shout out to this kid. Hell of a heart. If you've seen in my other videos, you get where I'm coming from. 6'5", 305, number one high school player in the country a few years ago. Didn't have the best season in 22. Clemson product still is everything you want from an interior disruptor. Performed like a top prospect at the combine. I mean, let's be honest. This kid has his best football yet to come, and you just got to give him a chance. I love Brian Brees, love his story, love everything about him. Good fit for the Bucs and good fit for Brees. This is a really good pick. Ooh, this is nice. Jordan Addison. Many of the top wide receiver prospects ran slower than expected. Jordan Addison included, but that doesn't mean the Pittsburgh USC standout shouldn't be a first-round pick. Addison plays faster on tape than his 40 time, and his route running and ball skills will provide Geno with another pass-catching weapon with Metcalf and Lockett. This really overloads that offense. They got Noah Fant. You got Ken Walker in the back. You got those two on the outside, and then you're adding Jordan Addison. This is stellar. Stellar, and gives you a freaky offense. Good for you guys. Chargers are coming up here. I'll be shocked. Everybody's just moving over to Bijan Robinson to them at 21. I'll be shocked if it isn't him. Austin Eckler got permission to seek a trade, so this is what happens when that shit happens. Chargers fan here, it's a little unfortunate. So, Bijan Robinson, 6'2", 220. This one's pretty straightforward. The Chargers have allowed Eckler to seek a trade, meaning there's a decent chance the do-it-all running back will be elsewhere next season. Los Angeles replaces him with a cheaper, younger Bijan. I drop a mock draft video. If you're a Chargers fan, go check out the Austin Eckler or the Chargers mock draft. I kind of go over all the scenarios that they can replace him. Or honestly, they keep him. I didn't go over that, but they could keep him. Who knows? But Chargers go Bijan Robinson. If Eckler goes, they can go running back first round. Not the biggest fan of it, but they could do it. So... Quentin Johnston, pick 22, wide receiver, Baltimore. This is what they need to do. We don't know what's going on with Lamar. Quentin Johnston's a big boy, very quick, very good with the ball in his hands. Ravens need to get the deal done with Lamar, and then they need to figure out about time to get him a number one wide receiver. Quentin Johnston would be that, thanks to his elite physical attributes. This kid's an all-around receiver. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not the small dude, but he can hit the deep ball. Let's get another weapon in there besides freaking Mark Andrews. I like this pick a lot. I like this pick a lot too. Picture Zay Flowers and Justin Jefferson together and TJ Hawkinson. I mean, I love this. What Zay Flowers lacks in size, 5'9", 182, he makes up for with his route running ability. Contested catch and after the catch flair. He'd pair up well with Justin Jefferson after Adam Thielen is gone. This is a really cool pick. Him and Justin Jefferson will be nasty together. I get they don't have the size. This kid's disgusting with the ball in his hands. These two together would be filthy. Filthy. DeJuan Jones, this is the right pick. Replaces Jawan Taylor. DeJuan Jones, 6'8", 359. You need to do this to keep Trevor Lawrence standing up straight. This is an A-plus pick and exactly where this franchise should look. Get the young tackle in the draft and do the right thing by Trevor Lawrence. I love this. Deonte Banks. I had this in my mock. 6'2", 205. Dude ran a blazing 40 in the combine. Having added weapons for Daniel Jones in free agency. Re-signed Shepard, Slayton, signed Paris Campbell, traded for Darren Waller. The Giants get Wink Martindale, a new playmaker. Deonte Banks needs some technical refinement, but his physical traits are hard to ignore. 6'2", 205, runs like a deer. They'll know exactly what to do with this kid in New York. Love this pick. They need a corner so bad. This is the right move. All right. Jalen Hyatt, 6 foot, 185. I'm going to replace this pick, and I'll get to it in a second. Michael Gallup, whatever, coming off torn ACL. CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown's gone. They just made a trade for Brandon Cooks, so I don't think necessarily Jalen Hyatt goes here. So, they also got Stephon Gilmore. So, you could possibly see... you could possibly easily see Jalen Hyatt here still. You could possibly see another tight end, even though their tight end room is pretty deep. You could see offensive line. You could see... I kind of like edge better here. I would like to see, honestly, Nolan Smith. Jalen Hyatt's not here. I would like to see Nolan Smith here at 26. Another athletic freak, a little undersized, but having him and Parsons on opposite side is just insane speed on the bookends. And it would give the teams a lot to think about. Since they got Brandon Cooks, I'm going to say this pick should probably change to Nolan Smith. But we'll leave it as it is. This is exactly what I have the Bills doing in mind consistently. Osiris Torrance. Bills fortify their protection around Josh Allen by selecting the top guard prospect in the class. Osiris Torrance is a plug-and-play talent. 1,000%. This kid is a starting guard through and through, 6'5", 347. Everything you're going to want on that offensive line. Get that offensive line better for Josh Allen. The kid's got it all. Love this pick too. I don't think they necessarily have to focus on their offensive line. If they're going to do any other pick here, it would probably be safety because Bell and Jesse Bates are gone. So Darnell Washington, 6'7", 270. He's got pretty decent speed, pretty decent vert, massive hands. Hayden Hurst is gone. He lacked the receiving production in college due to the two-time All-American tight end Brock Bowers commanding most of the targets, but that doesn't mean he can't be a weapon in the passing game. Huge, athletic, and catch. This is a home run pick for the Bengals. I don't know how you stop that offense. Honestly, I don't know how you stop that offense with this pick. I love this pick. If they don't do this, they go safety. Branches off the board. Only other safety at this point would be like Antonio Johnston. But, yeah, I know they like that other kid that they drafted last year, I believe. So, I don't know. There's Nolan Smith. I agree with this, too. Nolan Smith goes to the Saints. They let Marcus Davenport go in free agency. Replace him with Smith, who battled injuries this past season, but his combine performance was insane. It was out of this world. The intangibles to fit in well with that defense. 6'3", 235. I want to say he came in at like 233 at the combine. Beef this kid up a little bit, and you're going to see an athletic freak, and just teach him. I'm kind of hoping... I don't know how I feel about this. They got Rashad Penny. I believe they still have Gainwell and Scott. Do you really need to add either a third or fourth running back to that room? I mean, Kancey's still on the board. I know you guys got Miles Murphy with your first pick. Is this really necessary? I don't know if I like this. I genuinely think you could be going up, besides QB, you could be probably better off going any other position for the Eagles than this Jahmyr Gibbs pick. If it's Bijan, then yeah. Don't get me wrong, I like Jahmyr Gibbs. But I don't think this is the biggest need. That's a hell of a crowded backfield. I don't know. I don't necessarily like this pick. I mean, you still have some decent corners on the board, too. You still have, Cam Sutton. Not necessarily need a corner, but, yeah, I don't know about this one, guys. I'm not too sure about this one. I like the Will McDonald pick and the next pick for the Chiefs. Iowa State 6'3", 236. Edge. The Chiefs replaced Frank Clark with Will McDonald. I think that's definitely a need. Yeah, I'm not liking this Jahmyr Gibbs pick that much. I like the Will McDonald. I like Nolan Smith. I like Darnell Washington. This Jahmyr Gibbs pick has me hung up a little bit. Really does. I'm trying to think who didn't come off the board that the Eagles could take here. I mean, Kancey. Calijin Kancey is the pick here. Kancey's the first rounder. Kancey would be the pick here. I'm even okay with going Ego over Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah, this one's got me a little fluttered. But all right, guys, Kyle Stackhouse from CBS Sports, his 2023 mock draft post free agency. Kenny Pickett got a tackle. I love that. So Kyle Stackpole, shout out to you, my man. And now, as always, guys, do me a favor. Hit down in the comments below. I really want to know what your guys' favorite teams are in the comments. I haven't really asked this. If you guys can just hit a comment with your favorite team below. And I really like to just know what fan bases really are fully watching at this point. And I really want to know, maybe if there's a whole bunch of Eagles fans or a whole bunch of Chiefs fans. Maybe I'll spend a little bit more time in my next mock draft for you guys. Hit you with multiple options. Maybe I'll put out a mock draft for your team alone. Let me know what you guys think. Guys, thank you for watching.